you're not going to escape the costs one way or the other. I think that you're either going to build a team that is going to become experts at gathering the QoS, building statistical models of quality of service across the CDNs, across the various regions and ASNs and eyeball networks. And you're going to build your own load balancer, or you're going to go to an MCDN provider that can ingest those either directly from your own QoS monitoring platform, or again use their own like a Conviva, right? I don't think you implement multi CDN without engaging or getting those costs layered on top, kind of regardless. I think that for a video platform that is just starting out, I guess the main goal is to build your platform in a way where you can start out utilizing an MCDN vendor, but then when you scale past a certain point and it becomes fiscally tough to scale, you can swap out to your own internal load balancer, build them in parallel. So I guess from the perspective of, the way we do it here at Disney Streaming is obviously we've built our own. We do rely on Conviva and other third-party metric gathering, some of our own metrics gathering platforms and Conviva to essentially determine where we balance traffic and how we balance traffic between those CDNs. But we can certainly swap any of those components out at any time, because we've built it in a way where we're thinking about not necessarily being tied to a single vendor, not just for the CDN perspective, but also on the measurement platform perspective, right? You need to build those components to be generic enough and have defined interfaces between them, and that you could, the process of unwinding that platform doesn't become, an engineering nightmare.
Well, and you mentioned, one of the things you mentioned was that certain CDNs play better in certain geographies than others. And I think that on the ground a lot because of what we do with working with NGOs and emerging economies. It's one thing to say, here's how you encode your content. It's another thing to say, here's how you scale out getting that messaging out. You mentioned you had your own internal, and then you have the Conviva, or the decisions that you're making around sort of weighing heavily toward one CDN in a particular geography. Is that based on gut feel, based on previous experience, or based on current KPI?
No, that's based on current KPI. So, we are constantly essentially building. What we built is essentially a relative performance index. So we gather all of our quality of experience metrics, quality service metrics in the case of the CDNs, and then we weight them slightly, and then we come up essentially with a ranked stack ordering per CDN, per region, per ASN. And then based on that, we can determine if any particular CDN is out of band, out of range, deviation from the mean type of aspect. So it needs to be, if you're scaling out, there's just too many eyeball networks for you to do this manually. You can certainly create like a preferred order and do it like that initially, but as you're going to scale out, you need to be able to aggregate that data and make those decisions on essentially on an automatic basis.